And welcome to What's Good. It's a new show. Hey. So, Marcus, what's good with you? Oh, I know what's good with you, Marcus. You have Blade Forger. Is that the name of the book that you were?
Mad Cave Studios from the Miranda brothers made their name on the book We Live, but went under with Aftershock, so they're starting over with this new one.
Indeed, and I wish them all the best because Sky Point Aftershock, we miss you, and we wish you were still here. And I'm still gobbling up your books whenever I see them. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick. And here it goes. All right. Share screen. Here we go. All right. Move just like we rehearsed it. Okay. Start over.
Imagine fighting your whole life for something, winning it, and then realizing you've just made yourself the villain. That's Blade Forger #1, a brutal story of power, legacy, and the price of victory. But what happens after the victory? That's what makes this story different. All right, so here's the setup. Quorum, the energy source that's both a blessing and a curse, has fueled a never-ending war. The only way to keep the peace, the Blade Forgers tournament of the 5 rings. A brutal competition where the winner becomes emperor. Sounds fair, right? Win the fight, rule the world. Simple, but nothing is ever that simple. Enter Owada, not born into power, no royal blood, just a kid from the trenches who decides he's going to take it all. And against all odds, he does. Owada fights for more than himself. He fights for everyone who believed in him. And when he wins, the world roars his name. But they're not just chanting for him. They chant a single name.
Should have made the music
Owada
louder.
went from street fighter to emperor. But now, that's where the real fight begins. Fast forward 40 years, and Owada, now he's the reigning tournament champion and the emperor. The same people who cheered his name, they're calling him a traitor. And the empire he swore to change, it's just as broken as before. Owada isn't making a speech. He isn't giving orders. He's just waiting. The same people who cheered his rise now demand his fall. And deep down, maybe he always knew they would. Owada fought to be different, but when the end comes, he doesn't fight it. He knows. He sees it. He was never different at all. His revolution didn't break the cycle. It just put a new face on it. Just when you think this is a tragedy, Blade Forger flips everything because Owada's last words, therefore Sakima. Owada's time has passed, but the battle, it never ends. This isn't just another chosen one story. This is a brutal, intelligent, and unpredictable take on power and legacy. And if this first issue is anything to go by, issue #2 is about to take things to another level. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Owada was always doomed? Could he have actually changed the empire? Drop a comment below because I'd love to talk about it. And if you haven't read Blade Forger yet, go grab it now. You're going to want to be caught up before Sakima's story begins.
And yeah, XCam, Owada was definitely pretty ripped at 70 years old. But it's an interesting kind of world. It's a medieval kind of barbarian gladiator world, but you also see Owada flying a plane at the beginning. So it's an interesting mix up of mythology in this book. So I'm definitely plugged in for #2. We'll see where this one's going to go.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love that blend, like you say, of reality. Like, okay, like these guys are wearing kilts and like fighting with swords and stuff, but then there's a guy flying a plane. Okay, there's a modern city or something. So it's this mix of reality, but it's so cool. Yeah, this is I felt the same way about you. I'm definitely giving a second chance, and I was pleasantly surprised. And I mean, that's a very very good review there. And I think it's a StreamYard. StreamYard is known for having problems with sound. I mean, they're notorious for that, you know, and that's one thing they got to get the bugs out if they, you know, probably want to keep growing. But other, you know, I could hear it clearly, but the music was a little bit low. But probably you'll hear it on YouTube. It'll be perfect. So,
no, I think it was just a little low because I had a problem before of my music being too loud, so I think I overcompensated in this one, making it too low.
You overcorrected.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes, but still excellent. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Hey. All right. So what do I got now? Oh, my turn. Flawless transition. It's not working. He's going to the bathroom. All right, so I've got my first book is another. I have actually 2 former penultimate books in my What's Good section this week. And the first one is from Farrell Dalrymple. Shout out to PNW, Portlandia, published by Floating World Comics. It's called Robot Todd. Robot Todd. This is the thing that it was a penultimate book for like probably a month or so ago, a little bit longer, maybe even. It's been sitting on my to read pile for a long time. And I finally, like last night, I was looking for something to read before I go to bed. And like, the day's over. I'm tired. I want something that's too wordy, just too complex, or too, I don't know. Before you go to bed, you want to have some pleasant thoughts. And I thought, okay, this might be cool. And boy, was I right. This was so excellent. Farrell Dalrymple does these excellent watercolors, and all of his work is traditional. I do a lot of digital work myself, just because it's simpler and faster and all that. But I do have love for the people that do the traditional work, and I do it myself whenever I have time for it. I don't have a lot of time for it. Yeah, man. Yes, I feel about the bedtime too, man. Something to put you to sleep, but not to give you nightmares. So yeah, and this is something that does not really particularly have a plot per se. It's not like what's the plot of this story here? What's the scenario? It's just basically it's these characters who just have adventures together, and you can see the beauty and the technical mastery of his watercolor work. And I've seen his studio. We showed his studio when we did the penultimate book feature on him. And this guy, man, he puts in the work big time. This robot Todd is just basically a sentient robot that he kind of like, I'm gonna say he's self-healing, but he's pretty resilient. And he follows this robot as he wanders this kind of wizard filled plane, this magic filled plane. Like I say, here's the wizards and the crows and all that. And there's some characters you run into that you see over and over again, but they don't really have any connection. They're just kind of like, okay, hey, this is. He runs into this fox that's like a guide, like a spirit guide. There's a part where he jumps into a lake to swim across the lake, and he gets up out of the water, and there's a fox already there waiting for him. That's pretty cool. Fox didn't have to get wet. He just somehow teleported there. And it's a basic 4-panel grid. It's a traditional kind of a thing. Not a lot of words. Once again, late at night, I don't want to be a lot of words. I don't have to just okay. Just give me some pleasant images that I want to just absorb as I'm going into my nightly dream world myself. And his girlfriend, or his partner, I should say, I'm not what their status is. Her name is Sophie France, and she's on I think on Instagram at Baloney Feathers on Instagram. Baloney Feathers and Sophie so fair books bigcartel.com. She does this kind of pinup of one of the characters who was like this mouse character. This is his version of
great.
back here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell. I guess she definitely referenced his style, but they've got their own styles and everything. And the front cover is a big wraparound cover too, so that's very cool. So man, this is the first. I don't think number 2 is out yet. It may be out yet, but I think it's only 2 issues so far, and the second one may not be out yet. But man, this is such an enjoyable book, man. This is a book you would read, not to say like I read this book that has this great plot and everything. This is a book I just want to look at to admire the artistry of this creator. This he's like, oh, that is very cool to look at. And it's kind of like I mean, going along with the adventure as it progresses, and that's the enjoyment that I get out of this story. So, yeah, I think Robot Todd from Floating World Comics is definitely worth picking up. It's a beautiful book drawn by a very cool comic creator, and I do recommend it. So,
Floating World Comics, not a publisher I see around, but they've had some books that I wish I could find more than once.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Santos Citrus is either on Floating World or they're associated with them. I think they are. They actually are on Floating World. So, there's some other books on there too, but not a whole bunch of them. There was a one shot called Cruising. I think that was on
Yeah,
Floating
that
World.
was the other one I was thinking of.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So they do stuff like that. And talking about indie, this is this is indie, and Floating World is indie.
Indie AF.
You know it, baby. You know it. And the second penultimate book, former penultimate book, I should say, is this is where the A cover. I couldn't find the A cover when I was going through my other covers. Pop Kill. This is the safe for work and for TV cover here. Not with the boobies showing, but nonetheless a fine cover. Didn't see a lot of these in the shops too, so maybe it was under ordered or it sold well. I can't tell which, but I'm glad I got a couple of copies of this.
It's
This
not
is,
a new character, right? This is a continuation of a series from before.
it actually it is.
Or I don't
would say
know,
not a
man.
new character, but it's probably a repurposing of a book that was also on Kickstarter. It was crowdfunded because I see this signature like inside of page 1. It says the artist signed it and it shows 2017. So I'm thinking that this is from the Kickstarter. Now I don't know if it was like one giant book that was on the Kickstarter, and when they broke it down here into episodes for Mad Cave, that could be it. But I think I did not get that Kickstarter, and actually you think that this booby book we got here is pretty good. There's an Adam Hughes booby cover of the Kickstarter book. You can find that. That's still drawing big money, big money, big money, big money.
And then you can bring it to Planet Comic Con next weekend and get it signed by him because Adam Hughes is at Planet Comic Con.
Of course he would be. Yes. Who was that to you, Thomas? Said the book was sold out.
I think he's talking about what book were you just talking about?
2000, Robot Todd?
No, the one after that.
Pop Kill.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, really? Really? Ooh.
I think he's talking about this one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh shit, that's the case. That's great. That's a low print run. Pop Kill. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So it's still a pretty low print run, relatively speaking. And man, this is like the genesis of it is there's these two CEOs of soda pop companies, very much like Pepsi and Coke, let's say, but not Pepsi and Coke. So please don't sue me. And they're both based in Osaka, Japan, and they're run by two brothers who were once Siamese twins, and they were separated at some point. I don't know what point they were separated at, but they definitely hate each other. So that's just a perfect setup here for corporate warfare. And as the story begins, this guy here who's on the cover, who's very much of a James Bondian kind of a mercenary kind of a dude, is already he's already in the compound. He's working for one of the brothers against the other brother to sabotage their product, and he's broke in and he's killed a couple of the guards. Yeah, this is a serious book. This is not playing around, and he finds a way to the supply, and he poisons the supply with this injectable thing that goes through the pipes. So it ends up people in one of the company who are drinking like Popso Cola are suffering diarrhea from drinking the soda, and it's cost them like millions and millions of dollars to get this fixed. And it just takes a huge as you might think, a PR a PR burn from them to get corrected from that. And of course, the Popso leader is the twin brother who was actually, who only has like one arm because his other arm was attached to his brother, is like this tyrant, and he demands blood for the mistake. Go to the other brother, his other company, which is called what is it called? Not Popso, but Fizz One. That's like the Coke company. Popso being the Pepsi company, and he just celebrated. He's popping champagne like, I paid my mercenary to poison my brother's thing, and it's all working out great. And now I'm gonna do one final kill. I need you to find out what's going on. They got some kind of a project going on over there at this company. I want you to find out what it is, and just sabotage it. Meanwhile, the guy that got sabotaged is saying he's sending his biggest thug, his one who's been saving for last. I want you to kill whoever it was that poisoned my product. So he's coming for the guy, the James Bondian guy, who's now been sent to just close the deal on his company. He's been made to do the final kill. So the James Bond guy, in his efforts to make the kill shot on the other company, has found the woman who's doing like the project. He was like, she's head of the project, and sometimes she's a babe, and he breaks into her house and he steals information that shows that she is working on this formula that will make soda never lose its fizz, and this will revolutionize the soft drink industry, and it will put the other guy's business, along with a bunch of others, out of business forever. And they learn about it, and they say, oh shit, you can't let that happen. You got to find that formula, wait till she develops it, and then steal the formula and kill her. And he's like, got it. And meanwhile, this guy's such a horn dog. I mean, when the book first starts, he's like in bed with literally 6 women. He's like, the chauffeur comes up, of course, the sexy female chauffeur comes up to pick him up to take him to the plane. The PepsiCo boss wants to bring him in, and she comes in, and he's like laying in a bed with 6 women, and he's like, hey, you want some of this? And you're like, no, thank you. I just come to pick you up. And he's just like, he thinks like, I'm gonna like bang this woman, and then I'm gonna kill her. So, because he's already seen her like, like skinny dipping in the pool when he broke in. Like, oh, I want some of that. So he's like, all right. So I'm just going to play this a little bit more, gingerly. And she's very naive, the lady that he's stalking. He flattens her tires in her car, and all of a sudden he shows up with his fancy mobile, like, hey, you need a ride? Like he doesn't put 2 and 2 together that, this is very convenient that this guy shows up right after she gets her tires flattened, and he's working on her, and he ends up babysitting her dog and all this stuff. So he's setting himself up he's setting her up for the kill, but slowly. So first he gets laid first, and it plays on like that, man. This is kind of everything I expected it to be, and even if it was crowdfunded first. Oh, and yeah, I forget that there's a third company. I guess maybe 7-Up or RC that's also in the mix, and they've gotten wind of this fizz thing too, and they say, well, we can get this fizz thing, like we can just all of a sudden shoot the number one and fuck these guys. We'll be the biggest pop company in the world then. So that's also happening. So it's a lot of stuff going on in this book, and it's got the same like slightly dark humor, over the top stuff, kind of like stuff like Bang and some other books that we read in that similar kind of a vein. It's kind of a Spy Superb by Matt Kent. It's got that kind of a feel to it. It's espionage with sexiness with humor. So Pop Kill to me is everything I thought it would be, and I'm glad I picked it for a penultimate book, and I have several copies of it because I think it's really good, even though this is not the first technical appearance of everything, but still it's the first one in a major publisher that wasn't crowdfunded. So Pop Kill is good, and I recommend that too if you're into that kind of stuff, which I hope you are. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.